My wife gathered her whole family to witness her serving me divorce papers on my birthday. "Surprise! I'm leaving you for someone who isn't a failure," she announced. Her father chuckled. "We always knew she'd never stay with someone so unworthy of her," he said. They had champagne ready, eager to toast my heartbreak. I stayed calm, signed the papers, and walked out. Exactly 6 months later, she was sleeping in her car outside my new place, pleading to talk, her desperate texts flooding my phone. "Please respond. I never imagined I'd be sharing something like this. Part of me still can't believe this actually happened, but here we are. Buckle up. This is a long one. Last Saturday was my 34th birthday. Not a huge milestone, but my wife, Julie, soon-to-be ex-wife, kept saying she had something special planned. All week, she was oddly excited, always on her phone, smirking to herself, keeping secrets. I thought maybe she was organizing a surprise party, especially since things had been rough between us lately. Not yelling and fighting rough, but that quiet, icy strain that can feel even worse. We'd been married 6 years, meeting in college. She was a stunning business major from a wealthy family. I was the scholarship kid juggling 3 jobs to afford basic meals. Typical, right? Her family never accepted me. Her dad, Bronson, yes, like a villain from an old movie, made snide remarks about my modest roots at every family gathering. Her mom would ask about my little job, even after I got promoted to team lead. Then there were Julie's constant Instagram posts, flaunting our modest apartment, never good enough for her family, while I worked overtime to save for a house. Her captions about making do or simple life always felt like a dig, comparing us to her cousin Nora, who married a finance bro and lived in a mansion. In recent months, Julie spent more time with her family, coming home late from work events, reeking of pricey cologne. She'd get texts that made her smile in ways she hadn't with me in ages. I'm not clueless. I had my suspicions, but I kept thinking if I worked harder, landed that promotion, things might improve. Back to my birthday. I got home from work. Yep, had to work on my birthday. Adult life for you. And the apartment was empty. Julie texted me to meet her at her parents' place for my surprise. Odd, since their house was the last place I'd want to celebrate anything. Still, I thought maybe she was trying to mend things with her family. I arrived at their suburban mansion, and Julie greeted me at the door with a strange smile that didn't reach her eyes. The living room was packed. Her parents, her sister Abigail, a few cousins, and some family friends from past events. They all held champagne glasses, and the room fell silent as I walked in. Julie said, "Todd, we've got something unique for your birthday this year." Her dad let out a smug chuckle. "I'm standing there thinking maybe they got me something big like a car. Stupid, I know." Then Julie pulls out a manila envelope from behind her back. For a moment, I thought it might be plane tickets. Then she says, word for word, "Surprise! I'm leaving you for someone who isn't a failure." The room stays dead quiet, except for her dad, who bursts out laughing. I'm frozen, trying to wrap my head around this, when he adds, "We never thought she'd actually settle for someone so beneath her. Good thing she's finally come to her senses." Julie hands me the envelope, divorce papers already filled out, just needing my signature. Her mom pops a champagne bottle and starts pouring drinks, like they'd planned this as a twisted party. They expected me to break down, beg, or make a scene. Instead, something inside me turned cold. I looked at their smug faces, at the woman I thought I'd spend my life with, and felt nothing, like I was watching this happen to someone else. I asked for a pen. Julie's smile wavered. She didn't expect that. Her dad handed me his fancy fountain pen. I spread the papers on their spotless marble counter, signed every line in silence. No one spoke. The only sound was my pen on paper and someone's awkward cough. I finished, looked at Julie, and said, "Thanks for the birthday present. Best one yet." Then I walked out. No door slamming, no shouting, just left them standing in stunned silence. Their faces when I didn't crumble, almost worth the humiliation. I got in my car and drove aimlessly, ended up at a grungy bar where no one knew me, ordered a whiskey, then another. Stared at my phone as Julie's texts rolled in. "Why didn't you say anything? Are you really not going to fight for us? You're just proving me right by walking away." After a few drinks, the numbness faded, replaced by a cold, calculated anger. Not the kind that makes you reckless, but the kind that makes you want to dismantle someone's world step by step. See, Julie and her family didn't know how much I'd seen over 6 years. Married to someone whose family treats staff like props? You overhear things. Their accountant who gets chatty at parties about creative finances. The cousin sleeping with her sister's husband. The dad's business trips that seemed more personal than professional. That night, I did 3 things. 1, called my friend Larry, the most cutthroat divorce lawyer in town. 2, started screenshotting every suspicious text Julie sent or received that I could access on our shared cloud. 3, listed every business contact and friend who needed to hear my side before hers. I didn't go home that night. Crashed at a buddy's place. Woke up to more texts from Julie, now panicky instead of smug. She thought I'd come crawling back. Instead, by noon, Larry had filed counter papers. I'd pulled my half from our joint accounts, leaving hers alone. I'm not an idiot. I also rented a storage unit and moved my important stuff while Julie was likely brunching with her family, laughing about how crushed I must be. It's been a week. I'm at an Airbnb figuring out my next steps. Julie's gone from smug to confused to furious to calling me hourly. Her last text. "This wasn't supposed to happen like this. No kidding, Julie. Larry says I'm in a stronger position than she expected. No kids, my name on most assets, and enough proof of her affair. Oh, did I mention she's been sleeping with her co-worker Roger for months, making her disappointment claims laughable? So here I am, planning carefully. The anger's still there, but it's sharp now. Her family thought I was nothing, treated me like garbage for years, celebrated my marriage's end like it was a promotion. They don't know what's coming. Anyone else been publicly humiliated by a spouse? How'd you handle it? Right now I'm torn between taking the high road and burning it all down, and honestly, burning it all down feels pretty good. Wow. I didn't expect my post to explode like that. Thanks for the support, awards, and the few folks who sent divorce lawyer recommendations. You're legends. It's been 3 months since that nightmare birthday, and a lot's happened. 2 days after my last post, I was digging through our shared cloud storage to save photos before Julie could delete them. I found a folder labeled Work Stuff, created when Julie started acting distant. Suspicious, I opened it. Not work stuff. Hundreds of screenshots of texts between Julie and Roger, going back 8 months. Pet names, hotel plans, emoji overload. If you're cheating, maybe don't save evidence in a shared cloud. I sent everything to Larry, who texted back, "This is a gold mine. The man's ruthless, and I love it." I made 3 decisions. 1, focus on rebuilding myself, not just revenge. 2, let Larry handle the divorce without me talking to Julie directly. 3, start building a life that'd make her regret everything. I moved into a month-to-month rental with a tiny balcony where I can see the stars. First night, I sat out with a beer, looked up, and felt peace I hadn't felt in years. Started hitting the gym, not for a revenge body, though I won't lie, it's a perk, but to channel my anger. First week, my arms were jelly. Now I'm seeing muscle definition. Who knew rage could build biceps? The divorce process has been wild. Julie thought she'd get half of everything plus alimony, claiming she gave up career opportunities for our marriage. Larry nearly choked laughing. Hard to prove when you're texting your lover during work hours instead of working. The affair evidence was our trump card. Julie's family, always posing as upstanding citizens, her dad Bronson posting about family values on LinkedIn, panicked at the idea of her affair going public. They agreed to Larry's terms fast. One strange moment. I was grabbing the last of my stuff from our apartment when Julie showed up. First time I'd seen her since the birthday fiasco. She looked rough. Messy hair, sweatpants, which she never wore. She launched into a speech about making a mistake, Roger not being who she thought. Maybe we could talk. I brushed past with my box of stuff and said my lawyer would reach out if she had anything to say. Her stunned face, like she expected me to beg for a second chance, was golden. Now, the divorce is nearly done. No alimony, thanks to the affair evidence. We're selling the apartment, splitting proceeds, but I let her keep most furniture. I'm starting fresh. I've reconnected with friends Julie hated, like my buddy Mike, who she called low class for bringing cheap wine to dinner. He's still awesome, and we do game nights weekly. I started that side hustle Julie mocked, refinishing old furniture. Made my first Etsy sale last week. Profit was like $30, but it felt amazing. Meanwhile, Julie's family business, luxury real estate, hit a rough patch. Their big project lost its main investor right after I had lunch with an old college friend who works for that investor's firm. Did I say anything specific? Nope. Did I connect with him on LinkedIn after? You bet. Julie's sister Abigail, the only decent one in their family, told me Julie's a mess. Roger dumped her after her dad tried getting him a promotion. Turns out he was using her for business connections. Julie's Instagram, once full of #blessed posts, is now silent. I've been posting occasionally, hiking, furniture projects, nights out. Nothing big, just me living. Her best friend accidentally liked my photo at 2 a.m., then unliked it. They're watching. Last night was what would have been our anniversary. I was on my balcony, scrolling X, feeling okay, when Julie texted, "I know you hate me, but I can't stop thinking about where we'd be if I hadn't ruined it. I miss your dumb jokes and how you'd make coffee for us even when we fought. The apartment's so empty. Roger was a mistake. My family was wrong. I was wrong. Can we talk? I'm begging." I stared at that text for an hour, typed and deleted a dozen replies. Didn't send anything, just went to bed. 3 months ago, I'd have killed for that message. Now I'm not sure what I want. This morning, she sent 5 more texts, each more frantic. The last one, "I'm parked outside your place. Please come down." I looked out. Her white Audi was in visitor parking, her sitting there staring up. I closed the blinds and made coffee. What would you do? Part of me's curious about what she'd say. Another part thinks even cracking that door would undo my progress, and a small petty part wants her to feel what I felt at her parents' house. Life's wild. 3 months ago, I thought I was done. Now, I'm starting to think what's next might be better than what I had. I never thought I'd write a third update, but life keeps surprising me. If you're new, check my post history for the full story. Quick recap. My ex-wife Julie served me divorce papers on my birthday in front of her cheering family, who popped champagne to celebrate my exit. It's been 6 months since that disaster. I've moved into a small 3-bedroom house in a decent area with a yard for the dog I'm getting. More on that soon. The divorce finalized 2 months ago, smoother than expected. Julie's family lawyer caved once Larry showed the affair evidence. My furniture side hustle's doing all right, not quit my job money, but enough for coffee and Netflix. I've got regular customers who like my tacky style. Thursday night I'm eating pizza, watching a so-so Netflix show, when my doorbell camera pings at 11:30 p.m. I thought it was a drunk neighbor, but it's Julie's car across the street. Lights off. It sat there over an hour. I ignored it, tried to sleep, but couldn't knowing she was out there. At 1 a.m., she's still there, and my phone lights up with texts. Todd, please, I know you're home. I just need 5 minutes. I've been trying to reach you. Then, the one that got me out of bed. I've been sleeping in my car for 2 days. I have nowhere to go. I looked out. Her Audi, the one her dad got her, was still there, her reclined in the driver's seat. Part of me wanted to let her stew, but I'm not heartless. I threw on a hoodie and went out. When I tapped her window, she looked rough, smeared makeup, greasy hair, same clothes from her last Instagram post. She stumbled out, half crying, rambling. It took a minute to piece it together. Roger, her affair guy, wasn't just cheating with her, he was leaking her family's business info to competitors. When her dad found out, he fired Roger, who dumped Julie and vanished with sensitive data. Julie had been covering for Roger at work, fudging reports because she was in love. When it came out, her dad cut her off. No job, no allowance, no fancy apartment. She'd been couch surfing but burned all her bridges. Her last roommate kicked her out for not paying rent, landing her outside my house. I asked why she didn't go to her parents' mansion. She dropped a bombshell. Bronson's business is under investigation for shady finances, Roger exposed. Assets frozen, they've downsized big time. The irony was almost too perfect. I let her inside, not to reconcile, but because it was cold, and I didn't want her freezing. She walked in, saw my normal house with plants I haven't killed, and started crying about how nice it looked compared to her car. Over coffee, she spilled everything. Her parents pushed the divorce after learning about Roger, convincing her she could upgrade and take my assets. The birthday stunt was their idea to humiliate me into signing fast. She realized her mistake weeks later but was too proud to admit it. She said, "I thought you'd fight for me." I laughed, not cruelly, just at the absurdity. She humiliated me, called me a failure, served papers on my birthday, and expected me to beg. She wanted to try again, move in, start over. She had no job, no money, no prospects, her degree useless without her dad's connections. I shocked myself by thanking her. The divorce showed me who she and her family were, forced me to rebuild on my terms. These 6 months were tough, but freeing. I'm making choices for me, not to impress her or her family. She was stunned, then begged, Tears, promises. I've changed. I let her crash on my couch for one night because it was late, but said she had to figure things out tomorrow without me. She couldn't believe I was saying no. Nobody's ever told Julie no. Morning came. I made breakfast, basic decency. Her phone rang. Bronson, on speaker out of habit. His smug tone was gone, replaced by desperation. Their business was tanking, investors bailing. He knew I was doing well and asked to meet about mutual opportunities. I nearly spit out my coffee. The guy who laughed at me now wanted my help. I said I wasn't interested but knew someone. Mia, a brilliant woman I've been seeing casually for a month who helps struggling businesses. I gave him Mia's contact, hung up, and looked at Julie. She realized I wasn't taking her back and had moved on. She left with a backpack and an Uber to Abigail's, who agreed to take her temporarily. She asked if I'd ever forgive her. I said I already had, for my sake, not hers. Holding anger was draining, and I had furniture to refinish and a dog to adopt. Meet Max, my three-legged rescue pit bull adopted last weekend. He drools on my couch and steals socks, but he's the best choice I've made in years. That's the end of the Julie saga. From champagne to car sleeping in 6 months. I hope she sorts herself out, hope her family learns something. But I'm focused on what's next. Travel without luxury pressure, furniture without judgment, a shedding dog. Thanks to everyone who followed this wild ride, offered advice, or called me out when I was being a jerk. Anyone else come out of a nightmare realizing it was the best thing that ever happened. Thank you for watching Story. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more real-life stories.